What's up?
Good to see ya.
Happy Thursday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right after Thanksgiving. We're here on Carfitable Talks.
Yes.
We're going to see who joins us. It's good to see you guys, too.
Oh, yes.
Hello, everybody. Got in search and...
Well, we got Matthew Nathaniel.
Matthew Nathaniel
is,
coming on, yeah.
An emerging young comedian.
Yeah.
He does a lot of sketch comedy. It's
Exactly.
great stuff.
Yeah.
So he's going to be joining us. We're looking for him to join us any minute.
Yes.
So it's going to be exciting, I think.
So how was everybody's Thanksgiving? We had a fun one on the beach. Claude, you got to come in closer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. We had a fun one on the beach. Hi, Bobby Parker. How are you?
Hey. What's up?
Yeah, so we had fun. We were on the beach and just kind of chilling and everything. Bobby Parker, how have you been? Gosh, today I also, before we get too into everything, I wanted to take some time to just send our condolences formally to the Avant family. As I said in my my Instagram, I had talked to Jackie like 2, at the most 3 weeks before this happened. So I'm just kind of it's just so sad. I don't know how to feel. I know it's got a lot of people concerned and just wondering what is really going on. It's like out and really busy. Has it made you feel more curious about what's going on?
Well,
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
What's going on?
What's up?
I was having a little serious moment there to just give our condolences to the Avant family, and we were telling everybody that I had just talked to Jackie a couple of weeks before because I wanted to send a note to Clarence. I used to work with him, and so I still don't think I'm really there with it mentally. I don't think I've gotten there yet. I'm kind of Your lighting's a little. I don't know. Could it be a little?
Can it be brighter?
Yes.
Yeah, it could
I
be a
think
little
it's
brighter.
part of the props you're using, man.
You said what now? Let me try to see if I can.
It's part of all that luscious chocolate, brother.
You know I
got that melanin like that. Yeah, that's what that melanin like that absorbs like white reflects like.
I have to give a shout out to my mom and pop for that one because they did their thing. They did their thing with
you got that beautiful melanin. Well, I guess you guys, we are just really meeting Matthew Nathaniel for the first time. We knew about you through Kevin on Stage, really, and then we've been on your post watching him, and we're so excited not only about meeting you and how you brighten our day, but also trying to understand how does this happen. All of a sudden, you're getting this fame really through social media. So we're really excited, and we have a little something here. It says you're an emerging comedic talent. Young and insightful, looking into and stripping back and exaggerating unique aspects of Christian dating in particular. You do other things too via your sketches.
I'm going to need to write that down because that description is fire. I like that.
My husband wrote that.
Whoever did, I need to put that on the website. I need people to introduce me like that. Hey.
Okay.
Big C. I like that.
So you just via sketch comedy, which is really becoming so popular. I mean, we've got not sketch comedy, but we've got
that's unique. I mean, sketch comedy is unique. Not everybody can do sketch comedy. Just like stand up, everything just like a unique kind of thing. And so kudos, bro.
Yeah, there's just a few of you guys that are doing it well. We've got the guy out of Atlanta, what's his name? I can't remember. We've got Shooter King and Country Way. And we've got you, and you guys are all doing something different. You're not doing it the same at all. And so we just want to say hello to everybody because we're really excited.
Right. And we want everybody to please welcome Matthew Nathaniel.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Y'all reached out to me a few weeks ago, and I was like, because when you doing like comedy and stuff, and people be reaching out for you to do stuff, you be like, bro, I don't know, because folks been getting scammed and everything. I'm like, I don't know who this is, but so I try to check the page and see how legit it is. So when I checked the page, I was like, oh, this is legit, and she was actually she was sending me other people's pages. I was like, oh, okay, so this is real. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go in there and jump in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna do my thing.
Thank you.
Now, are you in Atlanta?
I'm in Atlanta, yes, currently.
Okay, so were you born and raised in Atlanta?
I was born in Mississippi, and I moved to Atlanta in '99. So I was down in Mississippi till I was about 10. My family moved up here for church because they found a better church. So they packed us up, moved, and I've been here since '99. Well, I went back to college to Ole Miss, and then I came back here when I was 24. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you into that football and everything, huh?
I'm into NFL. Like I'm a casual college fan, but NFL is where my heart is.
Okay, because them folks in Mississippi, honey, and Alabama,
it's a different world. Like you go down there, it's a whole different culture, it's a different world, it's a different system. It's just I would recommend that y'all go visit sometime. I tell you that.
We've been.
Yeah, we do. We
drive. Oh, y'all been?
We went to the Hall of Fame there. There's a Grammy Hall of Fame there.
Oh, yeah, we didn't go to that one.
Yeah, so we've been there, and we have the Williams brothers are from Mississippi, and we've got some other friends. Actually, there's a lot of major people in the music industry, et cetera, that come from Mississippi. Elvis comes from Mississippi.
But they don't play in Mississippi.
Price comes from Mississippi.
They got that blues museum down like where my mother and them grew up. So that's like a big tourist attraction as well. So people don't think Mississippi got something to offer, but we do. You just gotta not drive through there. You just actually gotta take one of them exits.
That's right. You know, forgive me for that. You know,
it's good.
But we've been there. We've spent some time there, and the food's good. Yeah. Oh, we've also got Jerry Mannery, Mississippi Mass,
Mississippi Mass.
Yeah. David Curry, all kinds of friends there. All kinds of friends. But all right. I told everybody, let's get right to it, brother. This whole thing is probably going to be messy. We have this thing that we call Vicky Getting Messy, but this whole thing is messy.
I got you.
We're talking about
Let's do it.
Church dating. So you're single, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So,
not for long, but I'm just going to put it out there.
Are you speaking by faith, or is there someone in mind?
I mean, no, I guess by faith. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I guess. I mean, it's a few people that I done took some shots at, but you know what I'm saying? I'm back to the drawing board, but it's all good.
So I mean, when you're in the church and everything like that, now Claude and I met in the church. We went on a Singles in Christ boat ride where I said I wasn't going to be talking to any of the brothers. No, I said no. I didn't want to meet anybody from the church because they're gonna be too fake, and then you go out with them and they climb and pawn on you. So it's just like no. I thought I was single, and I've been married now for 41 years. Last week.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna ask y'all at the end to give me some advice because you don't see 41 years in a long time. You don't see that like this. We get about. I average about a good 3 to 6 months for me. That's how serious it is. Good 3 months, good 6 months, and then that's where it all fall apart. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so what happens? So how do you meet?
Let's go to dating. Let's stick on dating. We get to the marriage piece.
Yeah.
How do you meet somebody in the church? Let's talk about that. Like, because I've wondered now with the young people, how do you meet?
So
how do you talk to a girl in the church?
So in Atlanta, it's like the Christian community in Atlanta is kind of different from what I've ever seen like in any other location. Like I've been been in different states, but nobody has like a Christian like community like I know in Atlanta. It's like I'm a part of an organization. We put on events. We bring in like 300 to 500 people together, like single Christian, like interrelationship.
But go to Atlanta.
It's now before you come down here, let me get you. So. This is usually how a lot of us meet besides in Atlanta, besides like Instagram and things like that. We have a big Christian community that's very active. It's been kind of shut down since like COVID and everything, but we're trying to get it back up. So that's how usually like a lot of us as men and women as singles in Atlanta meet through like the different Christian organizations. We might have a worship night. We might have I put on a comedy show before. We have like different events where you get, it's not like parties, but it's like parties without the extra stuff. Yeah. And that's how a lot of us meet, and that way, and on Instagram. That's how it usually happens in Atlanta. Now,
but everywhere else, he's not finished.
Okay.
He's not finished.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
These organizations, but they're not church. I mean, they're not specific church based. These are
These
across a lot of different churches coming together.
No, these are church people. Like these are
Christian people. Church people, but it's not like so-so's church. There are those people. It's a number of different churches.
A number of different churches coming together.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Right.
So if you're single and you go to these events, what's it called? It's just different events.
We got United by Christ. It's called. If they put on events called Connection. I'm getting ready to try to do a comedy show where we're trying to bring people like Christian people together, and it's just like different events. Come to the crib, like let's just meet up over here. We do that all the time, all the time.
So if you want to talk to a girl, okay, we know I'm married, but let's just pretend you're trying to talk to me.
Wow.
If I was trying to talk to you, I'm gonna tell you what I do.
Okay.
Well, this is what I used to do. I would go into an event and I'll look at a girl because I'll be like, man, she look good. And what I'm gonna do is try to sit there and get some eye. I'm gonna try to get some eye contact with you to make sure she look at me. I'm gonna look away. You know what I'm saying? Get the eye contact.
Look away when she looks at you.
Because once you get that eye contact, you be telling the boy, "Hey, she just looked at me. She looked at me." You know what I'm saying? Then you kind of work the room, and then you kind of see them, and you kind of like strike up like something in common. They might be playing an Uno game or something like, "Hey, let me get in on this." So you get in on the Uno game, and you start like making jokes and stuff like that. And then, but you give all the attention to her. You know what I'm saying?
So you're making jokes all over, but then you turn around and look at her.
Yeah.
Well, this is after initial eye contact that you kind of recognize that, oh, she feeling me. You can kind of tell when somebody feeling. So you know they playing a game or whatever. You slide over there like you don't know nothing, and then you decide. Yes. Oh, there you go, right there. See, that's it right there. Hey, teach me how to play this. That's another angle, but it's like a maneuver. You know what I'm saying? You got to maneuver and slide on up in there. You know what I'm saying?
Maneuver that situation, man.
You got to maneuver. But the crazy thing is, in this down here is like a lot of the women are available, like ready to be like talked to. So a lot of guys, it's kind of like a mental thing. You know what I'm saying? Like they overthink it. If you just go talk to them, they'll fall in love with you, right? Yeah, like this. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, I used to believe that like the group of young adults and Christian women were different at every church. But once you start getting involved, I've been like to a couple of different churches. You get involved, they all are saying the same thing. Everybody got a bad story. So all you got to do is just go over there and be decent. You know what I'm saying? Talk to them nice and be consistent. You got you a wife.
Yeah. Wait. But don't you have to have a job and some things like that?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you ain't got no job, you don't need to be dating. So that's the first thought. If you ain't got no job, you ain't working, you're not prepared. Like you ain't ready. That's I believe.
Amen.
You got other priorities that you need to worry about. You know what I'm saying? So
break it down.
But so I mean, they out there. It's just like a lot of us are single because of like preference. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really like it's like a lot of people got all these preferences and stuff like that.
Let's talk about preference.
If you talk to somebody and they talk to you about like, you know, I'm just not attracted to them, I got these preferences. I'm a firm believer that people, some people that talk about their preferences all the time, they think they're like they got these righteous and godly preferences. But if they're so godly and if they're so righteous, why do they change over time? Like, why do you let some things go when you're about 30-some years old, like that you held when you was like 25? It's because you want this, but sometimes it's not realistic. But you say that it's righteous, but when you get older, your preferences change. Like it's and you start talking to them, you really start like, oh, I see some flaws in there. So
so you've so part of what you do in comedy though is to look at this dynamic and just kind of give your some insightful comments about it. So
right.
Did these come out of personal experiences or just stuff that you observe, you know, at all these events? Where did this come from?
Let's talk about it.
Big C, you on the roll, man. Like you on the roll, man. So a lot of people think that with comedy is usually from experience. So a lot of people think that this me like that. I can relate to that. Mostly everything that I do, if it's regardless, like except for the fact that if it's like far-fetched, I do this stuff for like personal experience. Like I done had some some weird encounters. I did a video about church dudes at functions or parties or something.
That was so real.
Because that was me. That was me.
What were you doing in that one?
So
Describe it.
the video was like Christian men not talking to women inside the church or at an event.
Right,
And I got
corner by themselves. That was
they'll stand in the corner, hang out with the fellas. They'll look and just don't say that. They even try to get them with the gospel at the event. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let me talk to you about this scripture real quick. I'm talking about. Also, I used to be on some weird stuff. Like it was just like, but it's always like stemming from like a fear-based thing. But that's a lot of that stuff goes on, and a lot of the stuff is personal, but people cannot relate to it because, like, you know, women just feel like we just super scared, and you know, sometimes that's the case. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
I mean, because
I make videos about it.
So sometimes, like, I like the way you do this Christianese, where everybody starts talking so holy. Oh, brother, I was meditating, and give us some of those things right there.
I'm gonna give you a couple of them from experience. Now, let me give you like a few of them. I'm gonna give you number one.
Okay.
They got this thing they call red flags, like these red flag thing. Like if a person does this, you get a red flag. This is like the stuff you got to watch out for the Christian community. The number one thing I hear the most is, you know, God told you was my husband, or God didn't say you was my husband.
That's now, some psycho stuff right there.
And then they try to use scripture to back it up. That's what I'm saying. Like, it ain't in there. I'm telling you, it's not in there.
Have you had a woman do that to you?
Let me give you the story. Tell
me a story.
I remember this. Now, I'm a Christian. Now, dating in the Christian community has made me question my salvation at the end of the day. Like, because I'm dating Christian women now, but I hear some of the weirdest stuff. One girl told me, she's like, hey, God told me I was your husband. I was like, all right, bet, cool. 2 weeks later, we break up. And I was like, hey, what happened to God telling you I was the one? She was like, man, you know what? She was like, honestly, I don't know who that was talking to me. She's like, I don't know. She was like, I don't know what that was. I'm like, I know I'm saying. I'm like, who you out here listening to? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, she said, I don't know what that was. So it's not even a human. It's not even a being. It's like a thing. And I'm like, dang.
It was
do me like that. And you know, I'm trying to be decent, whatever. I'm trying to be, you know, a good man and all that. But you hear these things because
what's so good to hear?
I heard something else. I heard a girl told me, she was like we on the same team, like we both Christians or whatever. She's like, I just don't have a peace about you. I just don't have a peace about it. I'm like, I know I'm saved now. I'm disturbing you. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm cool with the Lord. I know I am, but you don't have a peace about me. Like what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
What you gonna do, man? What you gonna do? You know, I'm just gonna say this whole dynamic is not new. I'm just telling you, it's not new. You know, we went through it when we were dating, when I was dating. It's a whole, you know, the problem is we don't know how to navigate that Christian stuff.
We don't know how to be real.
We don't. I
haven't figured it out.
Proponent of like, so I feel like a lot of our theology is keeping us single because it's so far-fetched, it's so unrealistic, and it's like, now when you get, as a woman gets up in age, around like they start having, it's like you have like I don't really ascribe to this, but you know what I'm saying, like there starts to have complications and stuff with birth and all that as you get older. But I don't, you know, I'm a believer. I'm like, man, if I get married at 36, 35, we gonna trust God for a healthy baby with no complications. But I just don't like. It's like God has called most of us to marriage, and like if we're waiting at these older ages to get married, it's like it's hard to believe that God is really telling you to wait this long till you. I mean, it's possible, but it's just like your best years are like in that younger age. It's time for you to have kids. And
that's what it's supposed to happen.
As you get older, it's like, I'm just waiting on the Lord. Like, okay, man, I get it, but you about 30, we about 30, 35 now. Like we getting on up there. We starting to slow it down. We starting to settle in a way that we think, and it's hard for us to change and stuff like that. So it's like, I'm all with, you know, waiting on the Lord or whatever. But when it gets to a point where it's just like, it's starting to get ridiculous now. Right. If our dating pool is looking like the world, something is wrong. There's no way our divorces, the way we as Black people are being single should not look exactly like the world. And if it does, we have a heart problem. We have there's some spiritual in there that's mixed up. It can't be just
we're not being taught, Kurt. You hit the point. The other thing I always tell folks is not every red flag is a red flag.
What you mean? Explain that to me, Doc. Explain that to me.
He said, bring it back, Big C. He said, bring it back.
Not
every red flag is a red flag. You know, everybody said, well, I got a red flag on this. It may not really be a red flag. You just made it up.
Yeah, it's
you have to really think through.
But then that's a fine line too, because it's like I was talking to somebody, and she told me in like the first month or so, she was like, you know what I'm saying, I used to be a runner. Like when stuff get hard, I run. And so I'm like, that's all right. You know what I'm saying? That used to be you. 3 months later, something happened where she kind of distanced herself. I was like, I'm gonna stick it out because you know what I'm saying. You're supposed to work with somebody. You want if you want to choose them. You want, man. She done ran off on your boy like a year later, man.
Yeah.
I ran off on your boy, and I spent money.
Okay.
That's why I draw the line right there.
Let's talk about money. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about now. I know it's a little raw, this song, but let's talk about this new song by Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. We can't say the word, but
he followed me, so I ain't gonna go too hard on him. So hey, shout out to Anderson. He followed me.
It's pretty. DP said the kids were running around the house like it was Chuck E. Cheese.
Man.
He was spending money on her, and he was all alone. What do you think about this? Spending money, paying for people's rent and stuff.
They crying out for help. That's what I see. They're crying out. They're tired. They're tired of being misused and abused and taken advantage of. And I support them.
You saying the guys are?
Huh? Yeah, the guys are fed up.
The guys are okay.
The guys they fed up. So I no, the song is a little raw, but you know, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, it could be, you know, relationship and jumping into them can be like kind of like a risk or whatever. It's not. I don't want to say risk, but it's like to be vulnerable to get out there. It's a risk. So what I got most from that song is I understand being hurt. Somebody did you wrong or whatever. But when he was talking about paying rent, you got the kids. Like my heart can be broken. Give me the money back. I would feel a lot better. I dropped $1,200 one time for a Christmas. I'm like, just give me that back. I'll take that back. You know what I'm saying? I'll let the Lord deal with my heart, but let me get the money back, though. You know what I'm saying? I could have did something with that. You know, I could have did something with the $1,200. I could have did something with the $1,200.
When you go on a first date, do you make? Does the girl go Dutch? How do you guys navigate that?
Dutch, split the bill, cash out me your half, Zelle. Hey, we can talk about Dutch now. But if I ask the girl out now,
yes, come on.
I'm gonna pay. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pay for the date, no expectation, because you know I initiated. But I'm just saying, like, if you know you ain't trying to fool with the kid after a while, just let me go. So I won't marry you in my mind, create a family, start kids.
They won't marry you.
Don't, because I be like that.
Let's stop.
They don't make
stop.
I
How do you
like
marry
that.
somebody in your mind?
Man, I will see. It's rare that I get attracted to women like this. Like, it's very like my record is if I meet a girl and we start talking for about, let's just say I meet a girl I like and we start talking and then we end up not talking. From experience, it'd be about a year or two before I meet somebody else that I like. So I just started talking to somebody earlier this year. So I'm on pace to meet somebody in about 2023 because I'm still within my range when I meet somebody. So
redeem the time. We got to pray to God.
I'm trying, and the Lord, he need to pepper this step now. Like, I'm getting tired out here.
Redeem the time.
Paying on the first date, I usually initiate, but if it's like I will marry a girl, if I meet a girl and she cool after 3 months, I kind of got a direction, like this is the direction I want to go. Now,
oh yeah.
So okay, how many times have you been married in your mind?
Thousands. Thousands. Dude, Instagram, we got so many access, different options. It's not that you reach out and try to holler, but you'll see somebody on Instagram like, dang, she look good. And then I'll sit there for about a good 10 minutes, scrolling through the page and be like, man, I think she'll make a great mother, kids, you know what I'm saying? You just play out the scenario. Nothing, you don't do nothing. You just think about, man, you think, I do that thousands of times, all the time.
So,
but
do you
it's only
slip something in their DM? I mean, as a Christian man, you see somebody on Instagram, why do you do this?
So I got like a rubric, when it comes to like the DM games. Like, these are the things that you look for.
Okay.
Before you slide into the DM. I'm gonna talk about the things that you should stay away from. All right, so a couple red flags before you slide. If you want to slide in his or her DM, look for these things. If you see these things, don't do it. All right.
Okay.
If you see emojis with stars, space, horoscope signs and things of that nature, like rainbows and things like, don't do it. Y'all don't got nothing. You don't have nothing to talk about, because if y'all don't know, with Instagram, all these emojis and stuff is like space in the universe. I'm not believing God. I'm not a Christian, but I'm spiritual type of stuff.
Yes.
You want to run from that. You want to run.
If you're a Christian, you're doing it. Okay.
This is face value. Don't even think about marrying them in your mind. This is face value.
You can't even marry them in your mind.
Number two.
Let's go.
For the women, since I'm coming from a man's spirit. Number two, if she got a scripture in her bio, you have to, it's fine, but you got to check the context.
To see
if it's out of context, it's a no.
Like what? Like what kind of scripture?
I'm gonna give you an example.
Yeah.
A lot of Christian women has the God is within her, she shall not fail. That is talking about the children of Israel. That is not talking about a specific woman. If you see that scripture, go look it up. And if she's talking about herself, and then you read the content and it don't line up, it's false. Don't talk to her. I'm telling you. The scripture is out of context.
Okay, so it gotta be in context.
Yeah,
the scripture gotta be in context.
Scripture has to be in context. Now,
okay.
Go ahead. You got a question?
No, I remember one time you were on the phone and this girl, you started talking about David. Tell us about that one. She didn't know.
So that video was just I was talking to a friend and I got that idea. So I was on. It's basically making light of people, men and women, that talk to people that don't know. They're not really spending time with the Lord. They don't know it. They may be young in the faith, or they just don't have the faith. The woman on the phone in particular she knew the Bible because she was able to recount certain people, but you could tell that the relationship, and she wasn't spending no time in the Word. So I'm talking about David, and she's like, oh, who is that? Is that the Messiah? Oh, did he betray the Messiah? Was he one of the disciples and things like that? So it was like, and so
but she might just be young. She might be.
But the whole video is just to be like, man, you have to. This is what you said. The red flag may not be a red flag. You have to really consider I err on the side. If she's young in the faith, leave her at a distance. Like, make sure she's involved and you hang out in a group, but keep your distance, because things change when you get your emotions. But I don't care how strong of a Christian you are, you will find yourself doing stuff that you never thought you was to do That's why I'm careful about what I say as a single man, because I know once I get my feelings involved, I'm doing stuff that I would never do. Yes. I'm talking about because she likes it. So you have to really decipher if she's like young in the faith or she just have no, which brings me to my third point with what you want to do.
Yeah, sir, go ahead.
If you see the Instagram and she got a lot of posts and stuff about God, like a whole bunch of posts about who God is, like the faithfulness of God, you have to check. That go one on the red flag that might not. If she got a lot of God stuff on her post, you have to do some digging, because she might be going through a season of hurt or something like that. Oh, okay. Because if she just left, if she's a Christian, if she just left a relationship, you're gonna see an influx of posts about God. And you have to be keen. You have to be walking with the Lord for this. You got to be keen. Because like, it's something going on right there. And then you gotta pay attention. Now,
you guys do some detective work.
I got a degree in this. You gotta be on point.
You gotta be on point.
Well, the ones that I don't like.
Those are 3 points. Any other ones?
I mean, some blatant ones is just like, I think you had asked me a question about how people dress and stuff like that. I err on the side of like, I'm not. I mean, I used to try to be okay with like, but if she fronting everything, you know what I'm saying? You got it. For me, I can't. I have to be like, you know what? I'm gonna have a problem with this if I get with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I might as well just go ahead and keep my distance because I don't overstep my bounds one time and started talking to people that, you know, I knew from Instagram. I saw some things. I'm not okay with this. But you know, you try to be, you know, and this is how you get impatient, trying to like waiting on the Lord to provide a wife. Like you get impatient in the middle, and you start talking to people because you're bored. You start talking to people because you want company. Even though a lot of things you see about them, according to Instagram, is like I wouldn't deal with that if I was actually married to somebody. If you can see like stuff like clothes and fun stuff, like I can't do it, and I'm okay with whatever comes of that. Like a lot of women like to dress certain ways. Like as for me in my house, I can't do it.
Yeah, it's just okay. It's just okay.
I've seen some girls and guys with their shirts off and everything talking about how and it's for me, maybe just because I'm so old, but what I don't like is deep brothers that are too heavy in the Lord. Oh, sister, I can't talk. I have to pray to see if I can talk.
I bind you. That's what you know how like when the man be praying for a woman, he kind of, this is how he grabbed her cheek, like around the ears of the head, like the chin be right there. He start shaking and the bind it and loosen everything. Stop it, bro. Like, stop it, man. We gotta do better. Like as young Christians, we gotta do better. I err on the side of like I can't. I can't go around talking about women be tripping. Ain't no good women out there because I've met some. I've met great women. I don't have that many like bad experience for me to be out here saying, man, these women ain't nothing. The ones I've dated probably wasn't probably where they needed to be or they weren't ready. But I met some great women that, you know, desire marriage and stuff like that because of my preferences and like, I can't do it. I don't want to do that.
I mean, physical preferences or spiritual. Because some dudes got
mostly physical. And that's the thing. It's like be ye not deceived when you talking to people and they start using all these words. Because if you follow the Holy Spirit ain't finna be telling you to do all that talking. If you're talking to people as a young adult and you see them talking a whole about what they looking for, what they want, which is not bad. But if they saying that and there's years and years going by and they still by themselves, it's a problem. Like there's an issue there that they're not trying to resolve because we have this mentality. I want what I want and I'm gonna wait till I get it. But then, you know, when you get older, you start to come down on your list or with your sacrifices or your preferences, and now we want to get with somebody, and that's bogus and that's whack. You don't try to get with somebody because you want to have kids. Like nah, like
I was gonna say something.
We have to check them. We have to check that stuff right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want to speak to that because I think some of the differences are at least. Some people are like, oh, he has to be 6 feet. He has to have very clean white teeth. To me, those are things that could be problematic. Mm-hmm. I think some of the things go back to even something you addressed, which I had an experience with, and I got ghosted. Is just finding that person is like-minded as far as their Christian walk. And you can find out just by, I told this guy, I was like, I just giving him a scenario of being abstinent. And I was just saying why I was abstaining. And we had a date and it did happen. He just totally ghosted. But I think those, for me, that's a...
Was he in the church?
It don't matter where he is.
Brother had another agenda.
It wouldn't matter. What I'm saying is that I think that's a good standard to have. To just know some of those things up front versus things where it's like, oh, I can maybe kind of be a little easy going on that because I don't think being a captain save a soul is a good thing in dating.
Captain.
So here, this is something I was thinking about today. It's like the Bible talks about being watch out for people with like that with all these different philosophy, that crafty words and stuff like that. Don't be deceived because in relationships and dating, people will be like, they'll say something like, well, I didn't know he was like this. I didn't know she was like this, which is not true. If you walk with the Spirit, he will show you something.
Yeah.
So we have to be aware of like the craftiness and the people with smooth lips, because that's what, it ain't out here people like oh, some cases, but it's not a people out here really like revealing themselves like, oh, I'm really like this. They will maneuver, they will say certain things, they will say things. And with Instagram, it becomes much easier because I can find out what you like and then I can speak on it. I can find out what you like and I can speak on it just to get my agenda, meet my agenda. So we have to watch out for that real subtle, deceitful, slimy, and sneaky stuff. Because if you don't watch out for that, you'll be 6 months down the road broken. But
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You was waiting for this big picture, like, oh, this dude is not a Christian. This dude not really about the Lord. They'll tell you. Talk to somebody for about a week. They'll tell you. You will know everything you need to know.
Right. That's true.
You will know everything you need to know.
Just a general comment is that nobody is perfect when you're married.
Nope.
So the real question is how, what realistic criteria, because we all have criteria, we all have our preferences. So what's realistic and what's not realistic. And
you know what?
That's some of the things that might happen as you get a little bit older, because you, like you said, some of the teaching teaches you, well, they got to be this and da da da. But in marriage, it's really about coming together, transforming. You peeling off some stuff, she's peeling off some stuff, and you guys coming together. And so, but you got to have a good starting point. Let me just say that. But
it take work. That's what it do. And then you realize, even in friendships, like you realize the amount of work it takes. Forgiving somebody should, like the Lord commands us to forgive, but it's like in a moment when you're hurt, it's like you sitting with the pain. Like it take work. It take people to choose to forgive and overlook that stuff. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Are people our age ready to do some real like work? Even if you find somebody that you like, it's like it take work. That's why I'm more like, when it comes to talking about relationship, I try not to say as much, because I've learned to, like, I'm at a space where I don't know. I know some things that I would like, but I don't know necessarily some things I think I would need. But it's too many things about me that I don't, sometimes I can't voice. Like sometimes I don't know what I need. So I always look at like Adam. I mean, Adam noticed that he was one of a kind. So he was like, and the Lord put him to sleep, which is, he took him out the picture. And then he woke up, and then he woke up and he found somebody that was suitable, somebody that was help. So I'm learning to just kind of like, I tell the Lord about some things that I think I need, but I know once, I meet somebody that the Lord, brings across my path and I choose, I'm praying that, what I'm saying, I know a lot of needs will be met that I can't voice, that I don't know. So it's like,
right.
I don't know. I just don't know no more. Like I done tried to this, I done tried this, I done been with women that were great. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm out here and I'm suffering.
Nothing wrong with
it's the society as a whole. I think what's going on, first of all, in the church, they teach you to be phony. So two phony people are coming together with unreal expectations. Oh yeah, they do. They do. So,
that's that Christian agreement. If you hear somebody, you talking to somebody, they be like, you said something. You just said something.
So you're coming, oh, hello, brother, how are you? And, oh, sister, I'm so fine. So people,
they don't even talk like that.
Yeah, that's what I say. They don't go there, Mom, but they.
But in other words,
no. I'm just saying, like, if you see somebody talking like that, like you saying, oh, sister and brother, that's not reality. It is not like, be yourself. You know what I'm saying?
But people are coming from a truthful place. In other words, they're trying to show the best of who they are. They're trying to show themselves holy and good. They're really trying to portray what they want to be. But the problem is that ain't who they are.
I go to Waffle House on my first date because that's who I am. Like we
wouldn't be going too many places.
See, the thing is, I asked this girl one time. I said, if y'all eat Waffle House throughout the week all the time, why can't we just start there? Let's just bear it all out there, get comfortable. I'm gonna take you somewhere nice, but you really want Waffle House right now. But I gotta be impressed. I gotta take you go get some elegant. I'm okay with going to Waffle House too. Let's just do it. Let's just be real because you're
Well,
gonna be eating this. You're gonna be
Let
eating this anyway.
me speak
to this. I think the problem is that there's a lot of validation that's being met for people's insecurities during that initial dating process. So when you show up as a man and say, "Oh, I want to take you to Waffle House and not to that really nice place," what is happening in our society is you're saying that that's the height of my value, is that that's the best of who I am, and that I'm not deserving to go to that kind of a place, or you're not the man who's gonna bring me to that place. And I think that is something that isn't discussed enough as far as the value system that's being placed within the dating dynamic.
I think part of it is if people really get to know each other first, then you're more open to do more things. But first of all, I'm lactose intolerant. I can't have butter. I'm not going to the Waffle House because I'm talking about.
Now when you were 24, 25. You did
I'm
all
saying.
that.
I got a homeboy that you said about the taking time. I know people that he was telling me, he's like, bro, I won't go nowhere after 6 months. So he spent that 6 months just getting up. They don't go no dates or nothing. He just said, man, you got to make it in 6 months for me even to meet you in person like that. And I was like, dang, that's a long time. But
what do you mean you don't go anywhere? How do you meet?
Well,
I think that's a good idea.
I'm trying to
it's like, I mean, the way we communicate today is like talking on the phone and things like that. It's just really getting to know somebody. Is like, I didn't like a girl that I used to talk to. I didn't go nowhere until like after 3 months, because I know once I take you out is another step for me. And if you're not ready for another step for me to take you out on a date, tell me now.
Right.
Tell me right now so I can save some money. First of all, save some money. And I, you know what I'm saying, get involved. Like, I don't want, because I don't toot my own horn, but when I like somebody, I'm good at it. I ain't perfect, but I'm good because it's like I try to do. I'm always constantly like, man, how can I maneuver? How can I do this for this? I'm always thinking, and it's like I don't want to do that, too early. So I think the last time was about 3 months. You know what I'm saying? And then I started liking it. She's like, oh, we kind of moving too fast. I moved too fast. I told you before I took you out. I said, look, I want to go out with you, but I'm telling you right now, if I go out with you, this is me telling you, I'm taking it to another step. It's not just us talking. I'm spending time with you, and you need to be aware of that. And she's like, it was cool, but it turned out not being cool. I felt like I was regretting. I'm like, all right, well, I don't know where the miscommunication came from, because I told you. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more of I don't really have a preference on like when I should go out, but I do take my time. I don't know if it may not be 3 months. I take it.
Thank you for saying that, because I've been trying to even share with my parents why I take the time to have the conversations that I have before I even go on the date. And it's just for that reason, because you just want to build some things and then weed some things out before you even go to next level.
But the thing about it, I want what your parents them got. They met each other, and I'm pretty sure it was all that fluff because they doing something right.
But you know what? This is what we did.
How old were y'all when y'all got married?
I was 30.
And I was in my later 20s.
And she was 24, 26. But this was happening.
What did you say?
I want that because back in the day.
Let me say this.
The work y'all worked hard. Y'all was like, man, I want what y'all got.
Well, this was happening.
Born with y'all.
Let me tell you, this was sometimes you gotta manipulate some things. So
manipulate, is that the word we want?
Maneuver. That's maneuver. Right.
Good save, man. Good save.
Vicky didn't want to date.
Right.
Let me say it, then you come in. She didn't want to date, and so we were doing something. She didn't. So what we said was, okay, we ain't dating. So I said, you know what we're doing though? We're Gretchen.
Regret.
We
She
defined
told
our
me
own
that,
situation.
and she told me that, and I lost. I was like, "What the world? What's Gretchen?" I heard somebody say,
What does it mean?
It meant whatever we said it was
Did you
going
just
to
come
be.
up with the word?
No, that's what we were doing when we
Where did you come up
Okay,
with
so
Gretchen?
this
we
is what
made
happened.
it up because we said all this other stuff out here ain't us.
No, but,
So
Yeah.
this is what we doing.
but why not another word?
where did the word originate? Can you use it
No,
in
we
the
just made
sentence?
it up.
Where-
He made it up.
I made it
Oh,
up.
you made it
I
up.
made it up. I said,
Gretchen.
okay, baby. This
It
is
worked.
we're Gretchen.
Because
That's
I
what we
finally
Gretchen.
asked, what are we doing? Because whatever it is we're doing, at some point, whatever we're doing needs to turn into
To something real.
something serious. We need to be dating for marriage or something. So, but the pastor actually talked with us and he came up with Gretchen. And I was like, well, okay, because this is what was happening.
We Gretchen out here.
I
Ain't no
had
Corey.
the Christian brothers out there for me were horrific.
Okay.
So it wasn't working. So I thought, see, this is what's so deep about you thinking you're hearing from the Lord. I thought I was going to be single for the rest of my life. And I was good with that. I was working.
That's a lot. It's a lot going on there today. Some people are starting to be okay with. They're not really, but they're starting to accept the idea that I might be single like that. And they don't have
because
to.
a lot of black women. This is why it's so interesting, this subject, because there's a lot of black women out there that are not getting married. They want to at some point, and black men don't want to marry at all.
They don't want to do it.
They don't want to do anything. They don't want to have a relationship.
He said
Me.
But you know, let me just add another piece. This is another piece because sometimes there's brothers have their decision. You say, is she a wifey material, or you say married in the mind? But to make that last step for me, what it was, I decided to marry Vicky. Because I said, you know what, she will fight for this marriage, and I know I got issues.
He said that right there. He said,
I know I got issues, and she will fight for this. And so that was really, she was beautiful and all this, but that was the one thing I said, this is why I decided to marry, because I said she will fight for this.
See, that's what I'm talking. Fighting, deciding, choosing, and just being like, man, regardless of what happens, but there are some, like, I've met people where I think the best thing, and like I'm learning, is that I have to be able to be completely like flawed, like if I'm talking to you, like, because sometimes I talk too much, sometimes I try to get my point across too much, and I over talk at times. It's like, but I've met women that was just like, they'll sit there and be like, bro, you need to stop that. But they won't go nowhere though. They was like, you know what, I understand, because we have also conversations like, man, I've been praying about dealing with, before I met you, I've been asking Lord, hey Lord, you gotta help me deal with this. And when you meet somebody that understands that, it's just like, I don't have to be, sometimes when you talk to somebody, I'm like, I can't show her that I try to talk too much sometimes, because, what I'm saying, it might push her away. It might be, but some people, it's like, they'll see it and be like, man, that's not a good thing, but I see more, I can see past that, and I can see your heart for this, which makes you be like, but the only way they can see that is like their relationship with the Lord. They have to trust that the Lord can, not that you're trying to change somebody, but they trust, it's like they trust the Lord to be who he is. Like, if he's praying for change, I trust the Lord that the Lord will give him change, and I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna stick beside him. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stick beside him. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing.
But
that's the thing. Like, I look at him sometimes, and there's some stuff he does that is crazy. But I say, you know what? That's mine. I'm sticking with it.
You just look at him like,
you're crazy, but you're mine.
Is this what I chose to do?
No,
you can't go nowhere. You can't go nowhere.
Is this what I chose? If you say, yes, this is what I chose.
This is what I chose. This is
it, and I'm going to stick beside him, and he's crazy as,
and you don't you just be like, why? Like, why are you doing it? And it's just like,
you know why they're doing it? This is what you get to in marriage, which you find out. That's who they are.
It's who they are.
I'm okay with it.
That's who they are.
He
Who they are.
And he has some quirks. He's a little crazy.
You see, the thing about it is, it's not enough of it's too much. I feel like it's too much. A lot of stuff is a lot. I'm careful about what I say to the general public, because the general public will take they would take bits and pieces of what you say and try to do them, but that it's not necessary. Like, these conversations need to be had. It's rare that I get advice from people that been married for a long time. A lot of advice I get from people in relationships or just single, like me. It's like, but the people that have been married for a while, they don't talk as much as we do when they've been married for a long time, because they know the solution to a lot of stuff is very simple. Like, you just decide to stay together. That's all. Like, that's really like, you trust God and you decide to stay together. You decide to stay. But it's not, when I hear from married people, they don't talk as much. What they say is a lot simpler because they've been experienced. The Lord has dealt with them on certain things. Like, honestly, your pride just getting in the way. And that's all it is. Like, it's the simple stuff that people should have these conversations, like, I think, more in private, because once you start voicing like, oh, I do this, I did this, he should do this, it's not producing any fruit. It doesn't produce any fruit.
Right. I mean, I think the thing, when I really had a breakthrough was when I realized that this was about me. Who I was I mentally and spiritually healthy?
Speak on it.
Because I had so many insecurities. Literally, when I think about it now, it's really stupid. But I mean, a lot of women do it. I needed this man to tell me he loved me every day. Just something stupid like, do you love me? Do you care about me? And I finally said, Vicky, this isn't him. Why do you have to be told that every day? This is a problem with you.
Right.
You're insecure. And the same thing with him. He needs to deal with, if he deals with his stuff and I deal with my stuff, we can deal with each other.
Come on, Mom.
But it's his fault I'm like this. He's not loving me enough. Well, heck, he married you. He loves you. There are certain things I found out that he's never going to do because it's not him.
And then, you know the thing. I done had that conversation with somebody. Just like, when it comes to giving advice, I'm more of the person that you're not gonna get a lot of. You're not gonna be. My homeboy told me, he's like, man, if I really was going to, I won't call you because you don't have a really like a loving tone. And I'll be like, well, I'll be trying my best. But one thing I realized is, like, I don't think I'll ever be like I've gotten better, but I don't think at the end of the day, I don't think I will ever be that person.
Yeah.
Because the way I just see life is like, I take accountability, I take responsibility for what I do. So when I'm talking to somebody, I try to weave love and kind words in there. But I don't know how not to be like, find a way for you to.
Correct.
So it's like, I say stuff like, I don't know if this will ever work. Not saying that the Lord won't deliver me for that, but I say I know at my core, I think I will always be this way. But I won't ever try to be too harsh, but I'll always be like that, very direct, very real, very like, I want to, let's get to the truth part. And and then when I say that to people, it's like, well, don't you think the Lord? It's like, I do believe each other, but it's like, I have never been able to escape this. Not that it's a sin or anything, but it's like, it just makes so much sense to me.
Well, you can be more sensitive, but this is the thing of it. When you meet that person and you're dating them and stuff, you got to decide that you're okay with them just the way they are now, because it's going to get worse.
And I agree.
Now, people don't want to hear that.
But
I agree.
This scripture will help me a lot. Well, I use it a lot, and but it says love covers a multitude of sins.
You don't want to hear that, huh?
No. That's a black church way. When somebody says they're good, they wave, they fan their hand. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because it's
and
true.
in marriage, you know, if you love somebody, then you deal with stuff. You know, God loved us, and He dealt with us.
Now, I'm not going to deal with it playing around or We heard this guy that was a preacher who got on Clubhouse and was talking about, my wife wants me to call her all the time and tell her where I am. I'm like, yeah, fool. You gonna be, he says, she's not my mother. It's like, she ain't your what mother, she's your wife. You can't come home, walk in the house.
He divorced her.
Divorced her behind it.
I said, come on, y'all gotta get off.
Divorced her for that?
Yeah, because he's coming in at 2 and 3 in the morning. He's coming in the house.
He's still a preacher?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Sit him down.
What are you doing? He's divorced. He's a divorced preacher. I said, for that.
I said,
come on.
Because she wanted to know.
I said, we need better people talking on this
exactly.
Sit him down.
Yes, if she's calling you every hour and insecure and scared, that's one thing that needs some mental help probably.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you can't stay out all night with me
and not let me
know where you are. But he was saying, she's not my mother. And it's like, well, you don't know the difference between a mother and a wife, dear. And you
he got to spend some more time in the scriptures.
That's all. Hey, see, a lot of guys, people, period, haven't had it modeled. They didn't have a mother and father.
And I didn't know how much that stuff really affects me until I get older. It's like, I have an advocate now. You know, you got Christ, but it's nothing like seeing it, because even when it comes to my other relationships, like if you don't see a man telling a woman, I love you, and showing it, if you don't, you can learn it. You know, Jesus can teach you through all these different things, but I wish I would have seen a better. It wasn't. I mean, they.
Did you have a mother and father in the home? Was it your mother?
Yeah. They were married and they got divorced when I was like 9 or 10.
Okay.
But so I don't remember a lot of different things. But what I see it today in some relationships when a man is like serving, saying I love you, like it's not an excuse, but it's very difficult. It can be difficult if you haven't seen that up close and personal. Because one thing, because it's like sometimes when I try to communicate in love and things like that, it's like I feel something come over. It's like, this is not normal, but it is. It's very normal. But it's just like to see a man say I love you and not feel some type of shame or like this is too sensitive. Like I believe that I can do it, but even when I'm loving on the people around me, like when I had that feeling like, bro, I love you, or if I try to say that, it's something that comes over me. It's like, bro, this is not normal. You need to stop. And haven't seen it, and I haven't fully accepted or dealt with it in Christ, as he's still kind of helping me out. But it's like,
so and that's okay. But in a relationship, because I didn't see it myself, but this is in my relationship, and what I learned is that my marriage at first was built around things that I was not going to do. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And then I realized that my marriage should be structured by what I'm not going to do. It should be structured around the things that I want to do for my marriage. Yeah, and so that's when I changed that concept around. That's when I began to change and to understand and not feel the kind of like the things are, well, this is not normal. Well, no, these are the things that I want to do in this marriage. And so it began to work with me. So just a point, just a thing, because coming out of a fractured situation, what you come out of is coming up with things that you don't want to do.
And that's me in a way, because it's just like, when I was in a past situation, I was dealing with somebody where I could not really be my full self. Like I didn't say certain things to avoid conflict. When I got out of it, I said I'll never do that. Like I would never not hold back. But the thing about that is, it can be very dangerous, because now you making that vow with your mouth, and then it's like if you don't let the Lord govern that, it's not going to look like you think it is. You think it's gonna be I'm gonna just speak more in my mind. But I started talking to somebody after that. I was reckless. I was just saying all kinds of stuff because it was the truth. I was like, I ain't never not telling the truth again. But when I started dealing with somebody, I was like, I'm too harsh. Like,
you gotta
I know
I
want to
care enough about the other person to say, how's this look? But for me, I wanted to marry my daddy, basically. I'm not saying I wanted to marry my dad.
I get what you're saying.
But I wanted to marry someone like my dad. So I measured everything he did by what instead of what would Jesus do, it was what would Eddie Mac do, you know? And that wasn't, it was so unfair, and
I can't compare with Eddie.
Yeah. I can't compete with your daddy. You know what I'm saying? I can't provide for 5 kids. Your dad had 5 kids, woke up at 5 in the morning. I can't do that. I ain't no morning person. Hey, let me be me.
But you find out that, no, I want him for who he is. And he's all right with me the way he is. Now, there are some things I'll tell him if I need and want. For example, now this is funny, but even little things like for Christmas and things like that, if I want something in particular, I'll tell him what it is, or I'll give him 3 choices and stuff, because he's not going to choose well just out of.
And
what is that? That's a big spider. What is that?
Oh, Lord.
Like an actual spider that like showed up in the car.
Oh, it is. He's not coming out, babe.
I bind that spider.
Yes, I got it.
I bind that spider.
Oh, it's big.
Oh my gosh,
I bind it. I bind that spider. Loose here. Loose here.
Where did that come from?
Fisty.
I got it. It's coming. It's not that big.
He said, no, it's big. It's in the car.
It's about that big.
Oh.
That's cool. We can.
I would have been scared.
I
would have been scared right on there with you.
Yeah, Kelly said she sent it from
Right. This is why I need a husband. He had to kill it. He has to know that he has to kill spiders.
If you're looking for me, to kill the spider and the rat, I'm not doing it.
I killed it this time, baby.
You can't keep it.
No, I can't. I killed it this time. Yeah, I didn't want to kill it, but I killed
You
it.
need to kill it. Is it dead?
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh no, it's not dead. That thing is huge, Daddy. That's like a
It is.
tarantula. Oh,
This man is an OG. He ain't moved out the seat yet.
Hey,
I got it.
He don't kill it by looking at
That
it.
thing is big.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. Okay. Well,
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I know that's really emotional.
Is it a tarantula?
No,
Is it
it's
a
not.
tur-
It's
And
okay.
all the people left.
They left.
everybody.
They left. The
left.
people left.
It was probably a granddaddy long leg.
It's still
Oh
there.
no, it's like one of those
It's
that you
still
get
there.
a fake,
It's still
like a
there.
fake one. It's big and black.
Oh.
Like
You
one of
know,
those fake ones.
Y'all in California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
I won't be coming up there.
Had such a good time with everybody.
We gotta do this thing again.
I won't be coming up there.
We'll come back and see. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh yeah, tell
Wait,
them.
because I don't know if the spider's dead.
Just going up there and click. My Instagram is in the live. MTTHWHEDSON. I'm located in Atlanta. Click, follow me. You can find all my content and things of that nature on my Instagram.
Well, some people said that was the devil.
It was the devil. We were
So
on.
will you come back?
Can we talk about this again, man? Are you okay? We'll come in and doing that again?
Okay, well, what?
Coming back and just talking about this subject a little bit more with us?
He says, no, he's never coming back.
When? And
Well, just whenever.
Well, we'll get some
yeah.
days together.
Yeah.
I apologize about that. You should have seen this.
Save yourself.
That's
We
fine.
can laugh another to save yourself.
Save yourself.
I will be
Okay.
here.
It's still there.
It's still there. It's still there.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
I will holler at y'all.
Hello, what's
Thank
up?
you so much for watching Carfitable
Yes,
Talks.
thank you.
Please remember to press that like button, and we need you to subscribe. And also,
Leave some comments. We really need to hear from you.
thank you.